Hello YouTube, this is Always here with another episode of Wargame European Escalation. Today I bring you the final level in the default Wargame campaign, WMD.
Here is our prize at last. Vogel's U.S. Air Force Base. The Americans were storing nuclear ordnance here. My Spetsnaz infiltrated the place before we arrived. They made sure the weapons weren't moved. All our beloved leaders, both Western and Eastern, are gathered in Stockholm to sign another peace treaty, which they'll eventually trash, sending soldiers again to a useless death. But we have a unique opportunity to change that, to make history. With the nuclear ordnance stored here, we will make them all pay. We'll just have to hold long enough for our engineers to get them ready. It's vital to protect the SAM site to keep the enemy planes at a safe distance. It's also essential to keep control of the airfield. The engineers are preparing the nuclear warhead in its hangars.
Right, so objectives: defend center for 40 minutes and defend the Cub missile batteries for 20 minutes. Therefore, all these have to be alive after 20 minutes, and we have to have at least one unit left in center after 40 minutes. Against us are pitted the full brunt of NATO coming from Anna and the full might of the Warsaw Pact coming from Paul. This is going to be a tricky one, so the preparation is critical. First step is to secure other zones in the sector. If we're going to hold off against them for the 40 minutes, we're going to need enough points. So we're going to use the CVs they give us at the start to secure Michael, Constantine, Fedor and Gregory. This gives us an extra 5 points, which more than doubles what we have as default, plus the fact we need a point to reinforce. But also we have to defend these points. Constantine and Fedor are both secondary objectives to capture and hold. Michael isn't, but you know, it's still an extra point. We have a CV lying around, we might as well make use of it. So first of all, we're going to have to prepare a defense. We're going to do this in the form of our remaining Polish infantry, the veterans of previous fights, and some newcomers. So we're going to regroup them when the game starts. We can't do that now, and send them to Michael. They're going to be providing the bazookas for this fight. Next up, actually we'll have to do this first. So also in Fedor, there are some enemy infantry encamped in the forest and the town of Ola DPL. So to do that, we're going to need our best Spetsnaz to take them out. So we're going to get the highly vetted Spetsnaz and deploy them here. We'll also be using the other Spetsnaz that the game's given us by default. Down here, we're going to be getting another 4 slight veterancy, but not that much. Together, these will group up and take Michael. The Spetsnaz will provide the firepower to ambush any enemy infantry approaching the town, whereas the OT, or whatever they are, the Pietrzemetsk, will be providing the RPGs to keep away the enemy tanks. Also, we're going to need some anti-aircraft support. So we'll be using these Iglas, just 2 of them. Short range, but deadly accuracy and deadly firepower. And that'll be useful in the fight for Michael. So basically we're just going to post them in various points with the CV in the middle and just defend that for as long as possible. It will probably fall quite quickly because this can be a major traffic area once the enemy secures Kjot and Leonid as reinforcement points and starts pushing up towards centre. Not expecting Michael to last, but you know, we have a CV, might as well get some points out of it. It's not like there's another level after this to keep them going. Now, Constantine. We're going to be it will be defended by the remaining T-72s and some T-62 Ober 1972s. These are the ones with the machine guns on them. Recon will be provided by one of these guys, a PT-71. And anti-aircraft support will be provided by some basic GK-22 Tunguskas, not the M variant. Like so. Defense on Continent isn't too bad because, from experience in the past, it isn't a high traffic area, it doesn't get attacked that much, and because of the hilltop, if we wanted to post units at the hilltop, we'd have to post a lot of them. Just posting a couple of them to take advantage of the cut sight lines around this sort of point here will be the best option for us. Again, up at Fedor, we have, aside from the Spetsnaz, we're going to be deploying some of our most experienced Motorstrelki. This is because the enemy Motorstrelki will most likely have transport, and enemy will probably be attacked by enemy armoured vehicles at some point or another. Spetsnaz can't handle that kind of thing. Motorstrelki have their rockets, so they will be able to handle it. Okay, for the final part, Gregory will be using NATO equipment this time. We'll be using our two M55 1A1 Sheridans with their 80 GMs to provide long range cover as the enemy advance up towards Gregory. Also, we'll be using the M8 AQS for some close range firepower. As you can see, their main gun is a lot more powerful than the Sheridans, which could be useful as the enemy advance. Recon will be provided by two basic USSR keeps, the UAZ 469. Also, we'll be equipping them with a few Mott Houston. These are infantry that, while their assault rifles aren't exactly brilliant, their RPGs are some of the best in their class. They'll be very useful when it comes to ambushing. So we'll be sending one ZV to Fedor, one ZV to Gregory, one ZV to Constantine, one ZV to Michael, leaving the other two at Olga and Center. So the fighting at Anna, we're going to try and keep them as pinned down as possible. So to do that, we're going to be calling in our most elite helicopters, 2 Apaches and 2 Havocs. Also providing them with the best recon we have on offer with the Mi-9 reconnaissance helicopter, exceptional optics, good health. This should fare well against enemy units. Obviously, at some point while these things are resupplying, especially the Apaches, because they don't have that many missiles, we'll need some rear recon to let us know where the enemy are moving, so we'll be using these SPWs as well as some basic PT-76Bs. So this is sort of just keep recon to give us some idea, because Center has a very large perimeter that they can attack from, and we want to know when they are doing so. So recon units scattered about will help us to do just that. Okay, let's see what else. Now, obviously the fighting around Olga would be very intense because the Warsaw Pact's coming from Paul. So we're going to have to set up our units in response to that. So 3 Conquered infantry here, 3 Conquered infantry here. These will be one of the main points of the defense, simply because they can fire ATKMs but can't receive them. That's a very important fact. In terms of tanks, let's have a look. 17. Yeah, we'll be using the T80U for this. Actually, probably the BV will handle most of our needs at a lower price. Let's use them instead. So 4 here. And 4 here. Obviously we'll have to get some excellent recon to help us, so we'll be calling in the BRM ones. So just that. Also, we need these guys to be well looked after in terms of logistics, so we have FOBs here and here to keep the ATKMs resupplied. I also think some more defense could be used, so I'm going to see about calling in another group of T-72Bs here. Over here there is a slight crack in our defenses, So we're going to be calling in several groups of Mott's Houston. These are good ambush units, as I previously stated. They should be able to handle themselves. If not, we're going to be also calling in some cube meat in the form of some T-72As. We're going to be putting them in sort of strategic positions around the cubs. Just so, like, if they form a sort of meat shield, so when we start, so they'll be lost before the cubs. Also, let's see, I think that seems okay. So we've got people there. In terms of statistics, I'm gonna keep a secondary force back here. Actually, no. What I'm gonna do is just so I'm not don't have my attention divided, I'm gonna set up a tank force here to watch the area in the form of T-62 M1s with some various good recon keeps. Their job will be to watch the area and warn me of any attacks. So, to sum up before we go into the battle, these forces in the woods here, with the exception of these guys here, so I'll move them out of the way so it's easier to micromanage when the fight starts, will be watching the south. These guys will be watching... Wait, yeah, there's the south, okay. These guys will be watching the east. These guys will move up and secure Constantine. These guys will go and secure Michael. These guys will secure Fedor. These guys will secure Gregory and the road from it. These guys are outlying recon. These guys will strike right at the heart of NATO, try and pin them in at the start of the battle. Aside from that, all I can say is I'm going to wish myself some luck. I'm just going to save it now. Just so I don't have to have this lengthy setup process again. But yeah, so let's launch the battle and get right into it.